This podcast is brought to you in part by VIP Marketing and Advertising.
If you've never taken social media seriously, now is the time to do so. This is your daily development.
Welcome to your daily development with your host, Eric Elliott.
You're running away from the future, man. You gotta get caught up in the past.
They say marketing and advertising has changed. Well, I think a lot of what's changed is how we market and advertise to people, because now we are fighting for their attention. When I first got into media, it was just radio, television, billboard, newspaper, and the internet wasn't such a big thing or such a big deal as it is right now. Now it's almost mandatory that you have to do the internet. But another medium that people are not taking seriously, and I have to admit it as well, I didn't take it seriously, is social media. People are starting to look at their Facebook and their Twitter and their Instagram as something that they just kind of have to check off the old checklist, marketing checklist, but they're not thinking about how much of a tool it is. Let me just tell you exactly how powerful Facebook is. Facebook has the ability to give you a lower cost per lead to help you target specifically to who you want. Now, a television station or a radio station, and definitely not a billboard company, can't say this ad is going to only be seen by women. But if I have social media, or if I'm running a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, I can target directly to that male or female. I can target them by their age bracket, their income levels, their likes, their interests. And to me, that's pinpointing your advertising. It's not like you're doing ready, shoot, aim. You're ready, aim, and then you fire. So for me, social media is one of those mediums that you just cannot ignore. In the beginning, I was so guilty of it because I didn't think that it was something that I needed. I looked at it as just a social tool. But what I've seen happen more and more now is social media is starting to replace some of the traditional medias. I can tell you that from our own campaigns that we're doing. Instead of doing, let's just say if you're doing 4 local stations, now you may be able to do 3 or 2 of those local stations, because you can invest those dollars into social media and really get your leads back. You can actually get the phone numbers, the names, the email addresses of all those people that came in touch with your ad. You can target them specifically. You can schedule your ads just if you were on television without dealing with a representative. Now, I love my TV and radio representatives out there, but I think this is one thing that you have to be aware of as a seller and definitely as a business owner. As a business owner, you need to advertise on social media. Now, I'm going to take a break real quick. I'm going to come back and just kind of give you some case studies and just some examples on how we've used social media to benefit our clients and also our agency. This is your daily development.
You don't need a marketing agency. You do deserve very important placement. VIP Marketing and Advertising is a cutting-edge strategic digital, creative, media, and marketing partner that provides services for businesses of all sizes. To stay up to date on the latest marketing news, subscribe for email updates at veryimportantplacement.com.
All right, so welcome back to your daily development. And now we're going to talk about some case studies, just some simple things that we've done here. I'm not going to give you all the strategies and all the secrets, but we want to talk about just some of the things that we've done here to kind of change things for our agency and also for our clients as well. When I first got into marketing for car dealers, dealers they were always doing traditional media, and newspaper kind of got the lion's share. Then it went to television. The internet came along. Some of the dealers didn't understand it. Then you got all the digital cowboys out there, and everyone's selling digital. And now it's the way to get directly to a buyer. And so is social. The way we group social is not only just social media, it's kind of part of digital media as well, because it does have some of those components. Now, when we did newspaper advertising back in those days, sometimes you'd have a dealer selling for $300 to $400 on a cost per lead or a cost per copy, which is way too much money. And nowadays you can't do that. You cannot do that. We've seen it where we've used Facebook advertising to target people who are interested in Lexus, Mercedes, or Nissan, and you're able to get yourself a lead probably as minimal as $10, a $10 cost per lead. But some dealers are afraid to kind of go the social route. So I want you to just kind of pause for a second and think about how could you spend $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month in television, but you can iron out 5 to 10% of that budget to go towards social media advertising. I think it's one of those things that's going to creep up on us, like how digital crept up on us, and then some dealers were like, oh, well, digital ruined my business because it informed the customer so much. But what a lot of dealers weren't doing is they were not embracing digital so that they can use digital to help them sell more units, to help them reach that customer so that you can go specifically to that person who's interested in your vehicle versus you kind of doing a ready, fire, aim tactic in your marketing campaign. So I think dealers especially need to incorporate social into their marketing mix, just like they do digital. And I would say to kind of make it mandatory to bring that attention to the dealership's Facebook page. I'll talk more about Facebook. That's kind of like the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Facebook is so self-reporting where you're telling it everything. You're telling it who you're married to, what books you read, what movies you have, where you bank, what credit cards you like. And what all those things do, what they do is they actually arm the marketer so that you can specifically go after those people because now it's self-reporting. We spend so much time telling Facebook everything, who's our friend, who's our family, what locations we're in, where we're visiting, asking for recommendations. It is so smart. It's one of those things where if you're not utilizing Facebook in your marketing campaign, I would say you're making a huge mistake because if you don't, your competitor will. And I think it's the perfect way to truly target in someone's backyard if you're going after your competitors' people. So I would say Facebook is definitely a must for you to do. Now, with social media, people get so scared, they get so afraid because they think like they can't do it the way the big companies do it. Well, the truth is you can do the same thing and you have the same access to technology as some of the big companies do. But what they do is they have 3 T's. They have time, they have team, and they have talent to be able to do that. So if you don't have time, team, and talent, and having all 3, you can't have 2 of the 3, then it's time for you to make the call. I would like for you to make the call to us, veryimportantplacement.com, getting on the website. But if you don't have time, team, and talent, you must get some help in incorporating a digital and a social campaign for your dealership or for your business. But like I said before, for dealerships, I think social media is super important. So don't have a campaign without it. Okay, so I'm going to take another break, and this is the last break, we promise, and I'll be right back, and we're going to wrap up the show in just a couple minutes. Thanks for listening to Your Daily Development.
Hey, Eric, my brother from another mother. Anyway, it's Friday. Hope your family are having a blessed week, and just thought I'd call you and say I love your podcast.
All right, so we are back, and thank you for listening again to Your Daily Development. We want to kind of finish back up what we were talking about, that 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is Facebook. It is actually a marketing tool that you should use, and every marketer should use. I highly, highly recommend it. Just, some of the reasons that I just want to give you about just using it is just, having a lower cost per lead, being able to directly target the people that you want to target or the people that would do business with you, and not conforming to to traditional ad links, and I'll talk about that a little more, and also being to collect information and having lead forms. Going back to the lower cost per lead, we talked about how to compare, newspaper advertising to now doing Facebook advertising. I would take a $5,000 Facebook campaign and put it up against a $5,000 newspaper campaign in a newspaper that has a 200,000 circulation, 200,000 piece circulation, I guarantee you that social will win and give you a lower cost per lead there. Being able to directly target, if you're targeting by gender, income, location, you're able to do these things. It's not like you're buying a cable zone and you have to be in one part of town. You can go as geographical as within 2-3 miles on a street and be able to drive impressions there that way. So being able to directly target is one of the huge benefits of being a Facebook advertiser. We're not compensated by Facebook, but I'm just trying to give you something for your daily development. If you're looking for a tool to help you market your business, it's definitely Facebook should be one of them. The non-traditional, not conforming to the traditional ad links. And I think about traditional media like this. It's traditional for a reason. It just doesn't change. You have the 5s and 10 seconds and 15 seconds and 30 seconds. Well, what happens if I want to be able to really tell that story for 1 minute and 13 seconds in its non-traditional time format? And I want to go back to this campaign that Gary V did with his team, where it was the extra gum, and the commercial, it was probably 30 seconds on television. You can really tell the whole story. The sales slump, they were looking at the creative like it wasn't a creative problem. They couldn't really show the vision for what the director had in mind with the creative. So what do? They launched the campaign on social media. They showed the video in its entirety. Sales skyrocketed. They were able to tell exactly how many people, male, female, where they were paying attention to their ads. So if you think social media doesn't work, I'm telling you, I'm a believer, and you should as well. And I watch television just like anyone else, and I've advertised on television for our clients as well. But one thing that we can't get from television are lead forms from Facebook. Like if I run a campaign right now for an automotive dealer and I say, if you're interested in a vehicle, click here. You click that button, automatically I have your name, your email address, and your phone number. Why? Because it's self-reporting. You tell it everything is what you do. So I would tell you, any person who is doing a campaign, if you think you can't afford Facebook, you're wrong. You can do the same things that the big companies do. You can create good creative services. I wouldn't tell you that you have to run the same television creative on Facebook or on social, but you have access to do the same things that the other guys do. So I want to wrap it up and just kind of tell you, thank you guys for listening today. It's always a pleasure just to sit down and just kind of share some knowledge. If you have any more questions, log on to veryimportantplacement.com. Or if you have any questions, just go to veryimportantplacement.com and go to Ask VIP. Sign up for our marketing minutes, where we release 60 seconds of marketing advice every Monday morning. This has been your daily development.
Copyright 2017 VIP Marketing and Advertising. Produced by Craft Creative.
When all eyes are on you, make it count. From audio to video to graphic design and more, Craft Creative can do it all. We don't make commercials, we craft creative. See what we can do for you at wecraftcreative.com.